Alright, hey guys, this video is going to walk you through the modeling gears in CAD assignment. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to actually show you a really easy way to create gears. So looking at these, you think, wow, this is going to be kind of a really pain because we got all these little teeth, you're going to have to model that and pattern it all around and do all those bits, but it's actually really easy because we're going to use something called feature scripts. And feature scripts are really super useful. So instead of having to draw all the gear, we can literally just put in some things about the gear and automatically creates it for us. And feature scripts actually have a lot of other useful things that they can do other than gear. So up here, for example, we could use the thread creator script to actually put a bunch of threads on this automatically, and we can just change these around. So that's one example of something they could do. We could just create threads, we can create gears, we can even create entire, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's taking too long, we'll just stop that. You can even create entirely new parts. So for example here, right, we have feature scripts that can create whole parts of things. So we could just use these and bring them into our assemblies instead of modeling by hand. So what I'm showing you how to do is actually going to save you a lot of time because you have to do less work. So I'm going to teach you how to use this to make stuff for you instead of you having to go through and create everything by yourself. So of course, to start off, we're going to create a new document. So create new document. This is going to be your first name, last name, and this is going to be gears. Okay, so we'll go and create it. And of course, the first thing that you guys should do is go ahead and share this with me, right? Because you can share it right now and then work on it, and then it will automatically reflect those changes. So we'll say, you're going to share it with me, ctcatholic.org. Make sure I can edit it, that way I can see everything, and then go ahead and hit share. Okay, so we have our document, we're all ready to go. You guys should have shared it with me, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to need is 3-part studio. So we've got one, we're going to create 2 more. So this is going to have 3 parts. It's going to have 2 gears that mesh together, and then it's going to have the back plate, and then we're going to put it all in the assembly. So let's go ahead and name these. So the first one is going to be our pinion gear. Second one is going to be our spur gear. Of course, a spur gear, pinion gear is a spur gear. Pinion is just the smaller one in the set. So pinion gear, spur gear, we're going to have the back plate. And then we're going to rename this to gear assembly, so it's more specific. Gear assembly. All right. So here's where the magic happens. Instead of having to CAD all this and go into sketches and do patterns and everything, let's just do this the easy way, yeah? All right, so over here is where we have our feature scripts. And there's all kinds of different stuff we can get. To install the spur gear one, what we're going to do is come to custom features or add custom features. We're going to feature script samples, and we're going to type in gear. Should be the very top one. So again, we're in features, search feature scripts and gear, and then we're going to go and click on that, and that should install it. Oops, nope, just have to click there. There, now it should be installed. So we'll know if we click on the little drop down, we see spur gear, good to go. So I can close that now, and here's how this works. It's so simple. We just literally click on spur gear, and it starts making a gear for us. Okay, so let's look at some of the things we can play with here. So the first is the depth, that's just the thickness. So I could change that, and it's going to make my gear super thick. And you can make it as thick as you want, and we have, that's a really long gear. So we're going to just keep this a little bit smaller. I'll show you the exact dimensions in a minute. I just want to show you a couple things with this. Okay, then we have the module, pitch circle diameter, and pressure angle. Okay, so what these are, pitch circle diameter is just the diameter up to this kind of gray dashed line. So the pitch diameter is how the diameter of where they overlap. So this little gray line right there, that's actually where the other gear, where it's going to start overlapping as well. So we can change that, and that kind of changes the size of the entire gear. We also have the number of teeth we can change. And then we have the module. Now the module is simply the diameter divided by the number of teeth. And I could get my calculator to check that. So we'll just pull up our calculator, and we could say 3.2. 3.2 divided by 40, and we get 0.08. So the module is just a number that kind of shows it's a ratio between the diameter of the pitch and the number of teeth. And then we have other stuff that we can change. We're not going to mess with the profile assets, but we can make it helical. So we talked about helical gears, right? So that will actually make it kind of that angle. Ooh, we're having some singing out there. So if you want to make a helical gear, really easy. We can chamfer. Chamfer will just chamfer this inside here. So say like 0.1. You can see that kind of makes that kind of sharp. So you can actually make some cool stuff here. We're not going to do a chamfer. And we have a center bore. Center bore just cuts out a hole in the middle. Okay, and we can do a keyway. So, for example, the reason the keyway you would have that is if you have a motor that has to spin it, right? If it's just a circle shaft and there's a circle hole in the gear like that, there's actually nothing to catch it and to make it spin. So in a lot of motors, what they'll do is the shaft will have a little notch on it, and that fits into this notch here, and that's actually what makes it spin. We're going to skip that though and just keep it a center bore. And what I'm going to do is show you the size for our pinion gear. So this is the pinion gear on the left. Okay, so what I want you to do is go ahead and pause the video right now and just type in these numbers. Okay, so go and pause it, type in those numbers. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and just enter these. So depth is 0.25. Number of teeth is 12. The module is 0.167. 67. Pitch diameter is 2. You can see that it's changing it so it's close. I'm kind of OCD, so I'm going to make it exact. We're not worried about the root fillet and the bore diameter. Root fillet is just the inside of this little area right here. That's called the root of the gear. So you can fillet that a little bit more. We're not going to mess with that though. So there's our pinion gear there. So let's go do the spur gear right now. So again, we're going to go to our gear generator. We're just going to go ahead and pause the video and enter these numbers on the right. So go and do that right now. Pause the video and enter these numbers. So I'm going to do that. 0.25 is our depth. We have 48 teeth. 167 for a module. And our pitch circle diameter should be 8. And we have that center bore of 0.375. That should be everything. Yep. Okay, so there's our gears. So look, we just made 2 gears, and that was super easy, super fast. So we have our gears, now we need our backplate. So the backplate is actually what these gears are going to be mounted to. So here's our drawing of it. So you can pause the video right now if you want to kind of draw it by yourself. If not, I'll walk you through it. So let me show you the easiest way to do this and actually teach you something new. So we're just going to sketch on the front. I could really sketch on whatever plane. I'm just going to sketch on the front. And I'm going to start with the origin, and the 2 posts are going to be 5 inches apart. That's where the gears are going to mount. Where does that 5 inches come from? That's the distance between the 2 bores on the gears that would have them still mesh. Okay, so we got this distance here. Now I'm not going to finish the sketch, and I'm actually not going to draw all this circle bit around. Let me show you a sneak ninja way to do this. So up here, under offset, what we have is this slot command. Slot will actually create this big round thing right here. So I'm going to create that, and we'll just hit enter. And I want to make that slot size 5. I'm not sure why I put the size way up there. Probably made yours like 0.25 or something, but go ahead and double click on that and make the slot size 5. So what you should get is this nice big circular rectangle, circle rectangle, rounded rectangle. We'll call it a rounded rectangle. Okay, we're going to go ahead and extrude this 0.25. Okay, and then we need to make the posts. So the posts is actually where the gears are going to sit. So let's sketch on the front here. And I'm going to get just a line. So these posts are 5 inches apart. I have to speed draw this because I got 15 minutes before the video gets chopped off. Let's see if I can do it. 375. another circle over here. Here's 0.375. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to extrude these two each 1 inch. That one, and that one, there. All right, so there's our back plate. And let's give this some color, because this is going to all look really boring if it's all just blue. I'm going to make my back plate out of wood, so we'll make that kind of a brownish color. And I'm going to make my gears, oh, you know what, we'll see what color I'm throwing here. So where's my appearance? There we go. Killing time here. All right, I'm going to make this one purple. And you know what? It's going to mesh with a gear that is, I'm going to make this one, I'm going to make it orange, purple and orange. That's a great combination. So we got purple and orange. And let's come over to our assembly, and I got 4 minutes to put this together, so let's do it. So let's go ahead and insert these. So we've got the back plate, pinion gear, spur gear. Yeah, look at those colors pop. Alright, so we're going to use a revolute mate, which is the simplest. And what it's going to do is let us spin these gears around. And I'll revolute mate this, make sure you get that central axis. There. Okay, and just because I don't want this to wobble around, I'm going to right click on the back plate and fix that so it doesn't move around. Okay, so now we got our gears together, but if I spin them, right, that guy spins, and that guy spins, but they don't spin together. So what we need to do is a gear relation. We have a few of them. We have screw, which we use for like a worm and wheel, rack and pinion, and we're just going to do a regular old gear relation. So click on gear relation, and we click on our revolute mate 1, revolute mate 2, and that is going to use these two gears. Now we have to think of our gear ratio. So the gear ratio is going to be what we use for the number on the bottom there. And we know that we have 12 and 48. So depending on which one you clicked on first, I clicked on this one and that one. So we're going to put in 0.25. Let's see if that's right. Now, depending on which one you click on first, you might have to do 0.25 or 4. So 1 to 4 or 4 to 1. So that looks good. So it's spinning the correct speed, and they're both going the right direction. Now, if they're going the wrong direction, so if you're spinning these and they're going opposite directions, what you have to do is, under your gear relation, reverse the direction. So mine was right the first time, but if you're spinning them and they're going in the wrong direction, so if we spin these, we can see that these are going the wrong way, right? Like I'm spinning this one counterclockwise, and this one is also going counterclockwise. That's bad. So I had it right the first time. So if I'm spinning this one clockwise, this should be going counterclockwise, and that's good right there. That's what I'm looking for. All right, the one thing we notice now, the last thing we need to fix is these gears are overlapping. Right? The teeth are on top of each other. That doesn't work. So what we need to do is just offset this guy a little bit. So we'll expand our revolute mate, double click on the mate connector, check move, and down here where it says rotate around Z, we're going to give it a 15-degree rotation. That's just the number of teeth. That's going to move it, so now those teeth are no longer overlapping. Instead, they are beautifully meshed. And if I turn this, you'll see that it can work beautifully. My connection is a little bit slow. We can also animate this. So if we right-click on our revolute, you guys don't have to do this. It's just kind of cool. You can animate any of these. When we do that, you can see this nice, smooth movement is really cool. Now, for the assignment, all that you have to do is just create the pinion and this large spur gear, but if you want to add a few more and create a compound gear, I will give you extra credit points. So this is the base assignment, so if you got this far, you're good, you're done. Want a few extra points, what you can do is add a few gears and go for a compound gear system. So let me show you what that looks like. Just like this right here. And as you add more, I will give you extra credit. As we can see, actually, as we turn this, it slows down on the right side, so you can see we're making a whole lot of torque. So that's the video. Thanks. Have a great day.